Okay, I was just thinking we got to bring win of the week segment back.
Yep.
I know that we kind of lost momentum when we started beginning of this year, but it's a good segment. It keeps us in the positivity mindset going. And I just noticed I was starting to complain. So I was like, no, I want to bring gratitude and gratefulness back. So my win of the week here is I'm really excited. I started exercising again. I don't know if any one of you are feeling the global funk. I'm going to call it. It feels like it's a global funk. Like we're
global
all just
chaos.
like we're just all in a funk. And I am a big believer in collective consciousness.
Me too.
And I just feel like all of us all over the world are feeling like war. There's tariffs. Countries are not getting along. There's a lack of leadership in the world right now. And we're all just in limbo, right? We don't know what's happening. Like, are there going to be a round of layoffs? Are we going to be heading into recession? Am I going to lose my job? Like, how am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to get the grocery? Like, every single one of us get affected whenever there's chaos and turmoil in the world. So I don't know about you all, but I literally for January, February, and even literally beginning of March, I had no desire to work out, like none. I was just like, I'm in a funk. And then I realized as I'm getting older now, and I have spoken about perimenopause, this is going to be a long-winded win. Long-winded win. But hear me out and stay with me. Is like, I just was like, my body was aching and I was like, I got to get back. And I'm going to tell you something is it's so hard just getting yourself to the gym. It's so hard even just starting the movement of working out or even just going for a walk. But when you do it, man, you feel like $1,000,000. Your body thanks you. So I have, my win is basically, I'm so proud to say it took me 90 days into the new year, but I'm back to exercising and I feel great. And I just want everyone to know there's no set time to when you got to start something. Just start. That's all I'm going to say. That's my win.
Love it. And
Rocky, left jam.
Who's ever regretted a workout? No one
Nobody.
ever.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just we're all struggling
I'll
right
have to
now.
jump on that win then because I started exercising like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, but I'm not going to the gym still.
Yeah.
I'm doing it just at home because I found myself working like when you're working from home, you're sitting on the chair for like 6-7 hours.
Yeah.
You get up, you walk around, and then you go like sit on the sofa or you lie on the sofa, and then you get up and you go back again. And I'm like, I am not moving my body whatsoever. And I also found that my appetite was decreasing because I'm not as much as active. You'd have a cup of coffee and you're like, oh, I'm good. But you're like, this is probably not the best thing for me. So I just started moving my body, playing music, and you're like, okay, I see what
just
it is.
anything.
Yeah,
just
it feels
move.
like cathartic once you get going, and then you're like, okay,
So
I see
I'm gonna
it.
jump on that because when I came yesterday, Al had music and he was like moving around. I'm like, hey, this is my life. This is what I do every day at home. And it's like I play
Start
music
feeling
and I
beat.
just start dancing because I know I need it. Otherwise,
But the music
I can fall
gets me
into a
going
funk.
though. I just let it play in the background, and then sometimes a good track comes on, and then you're like, okay, I gotta jump around a little bit.
Just movement. And I want to just do, I guess, just a little shout out on this here, or just bring it to everyone's attention. When we're sitting, for those of you that are remote workers, and if you have two screens that you're working from, I'm going to tell you, you're going to start to realize your shoulders and your neck, because from this type of movement here, they get really sore. And my physiotherapist suggested a little secret, and the massage therapist said, move your entire body when you're doing that so that this part of the muscle doesn't get sore. And he's right. So now what I do is I physically roll my chair this way, and I do that, and I have less headaches and tension. So try that, and then do the exercises like this, because you'll be surprised how crunchy your neck and shoulders are.
All right, my win is I am sick. I have been sick for a week, but I'm here and I'm taping because this is my happy place, and I enjoy coming and sharing our life experiences with everyone who watches and tunes in. So if I sound a little funky, it's just because I'm coming over it. But the show must go on, so I'm here.
I feel like you've been sick on like several episodes, but you soldiered through.
I soldiered through everything, man.
Yeah. And you know what?
Hustle.
And you know what? As big sister, I'm going to toot my own horn. Toot, toot. But for those of you that have been following us since the inception of our podcast, you know something. It's either Alvin that's been sick or Rose that's been sick. And I haven't been sick yet. Woo.
I feel like your perimenopause is your sick.
I feel like a daily sickness.
Listen, I have
It's like a daily sickness I've been dealing with.
hormonal issues and allergies, and that ain't a lie. That's a real thing.
I have
but I
allergy
soldiered
issues
through,
too.
but I was never out for the
I'm kind of
count.
under the weather too.
Well, I traveled for work, and the lady next to me on the flight was sick, and I knew she was sick, and so she gave me
I
whatever.
think
she
anytime
had.
you fly, though,
Yeah,
it's a 50-50 chance you're gonna get sick. You're surrounded by like 300 people sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
When I flew last year, I was sick. I'm pretty sure I hawked up a lot of stuff on that plane.
Well, we will find out if I get sick because we're going to be visiting our parents this weekend. Whenever Rose comes in town, we go visit our parents. And right
I
now,
have to visit them every day.
Our parents are doing renovations. So one room is out. It looks like I'm going to be in the same bed with Rose.
Oh yeah, we sleep together on bed and we talk till like 2:00 in the morning.
We have slumber parties every weekend when Rose comes down.
Yeah, it's fun. It's
fun.
it.
Okay, let's get into our thing. I want us to talk about a little bit about pressure, surviving, how we cope. I think right now it's a perfect segue into what's happening globally and just how we're all feeling and how we're all coping in tough times. And I just wanted the three of us to get together because all three of us have faced adversity. We have faced difficult situations. And I'm not sure if I've said this before or not, but collectively, with the three of us, if you take our ages and you add them together, we have over 100 years of life experience sitting right here.
Old. Most of that's from you guys. Most of those years are from you guys.
Own your age and be proud of it. Yep. There's some wisdom. There's some serious wisdom.
It's a privilege to be aging.
Yes. So I wanted us to just talk about so that we can shed some light and perhaps anyone else out there that is feeling in a global funk or just feeling the funk of what's happening or just, with life and mundane and paying the bills and going to work and the whole routine of just adulting and life. How do we cope in tough times, surviving pressure? So Rose, we don't have to, if you can think of an incident, let's go for it. But what is your strategy for dealing with difficult situations? What do you do to get yourself back to try at least be at a bay or a balanced state?
So one thing I do is I'm really mindful of what I watch. When I'm starting to find myself go down that rabbit hole, feeling down and depressed, I'm really, really careful now. I'd say now I've got that in me to be really mindful. So motivational speeches is what I listen to sometimes every day, sometimes every other day. I dance. That dancing has saved me through my entire life from all of my situations is just turn on your favorite song and just jump up and down 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I promise you it shifts something. Because it rains so much, I don't always get outside. And then if you can get outside and just walk in nature, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it does wonders. I know people will question this, but it's helped me a lot in those situations because my old coping mechanism would have been all right, I'll just have a glass of wine and that'll edge it. But you know what? That doesn't help me sleep at night. It causes other issues. If I really want to increase my dopamine, I need to physically move my body. It's the only way to get out of your head.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Al, you have had your fair share of having to cope in tough times. 2020 was a really tough year. Mm-hmm. I know that you have spoken briefly about, some of those issues and some of those circumstances that happened in 2020 over the course of the 2.5 years now in the podcast. But what did you learn during that time? Because that was tough for you. Yeah,
I would say, I won't go into detail, but I would say during that time, I was using all the wrong vices and the wrong tools to treat myself. So that didn't end up working itself out. But I think what got me out of that obviously was the psychedelic. But I think once you take a psychedelic and you go through all these treatments, the main thing after that is actually doing the work to continue that level of okay, I'm not going to get stressed out anymore or turn to these other vices. And I think what's currently working for me right now is literally therapy. And then the therapy that I'm going to do is a hypnotherapy. And they're kind of making you go back to your childhood and try to heal that childhood trauma. And in the beginning, when I started doing it, I was I don't know if this is all going to work, but whatever, we'll go open-minded. And as she was saying, she was watch, you're going to just feel it down the road. It was just like psychedelics where it doesn't happen immediately. It's down the road. And then that's when I realized, okay, I was I can't handle everything in life and I can't keep turning to things. But I was I do think everybody needs some level of therapy, periodically throughout your life or at certain times where you need some sort of intervention because you're okay, I'm trying other things. Maybe it's not working for me, but I do feel when you have these issues, you're there's something internally that's causing this, right? And if I'm putting something in my body to numb it, there's obviously I need to get to the source from the inside out. So obviously I haven't cured it, but I'm I just find that, okay, I think people need to go to someone that's not your family, not your friend, maybe I do think hypnotherapy works or whatever works for the person, but you have to go talk to somebody else and say, let's figure out some of your problems together. And I think that's what helps.
Al, I think that's just really great and huge for men to hear, because I think that's the biggest problem with a lot of men is they don't feel like they can talk about their stuff and they bottle it up. I think all the wars that we're seeing and everything we're seeing is a hence of all this holding into your emotions. And that's really great.
And I think it's just literally unpacking. Once you just let it out, you're kind of like, oh, okay. And a lot of it does come back to end up being like, so this is what life's going to also be though. So you have to learn to like find some happiness amongst this. And if you're not happy right now, you don't like what you're doing, then you still have the power to change. Like you can figure it out. Yeah, it's not gonna be hard now, but you still got to figure it out. Like if I'm like, oh, I don't like I say all the time, I can't handle rain for like 8 months out of the year. I know my end game is I need to go somewhere where there's sunshine for like 10 months out of the year. That's like how I need to function for long term. Yeah. That's like the base route. I think that's first. So little things like that, they're just, you're realizing, you're like, okay, let's not work towards these kinds of levels of like what's going to bring me some joy, because I think everyone's on that level. Imagine we had sunshine here like all year round. It'd be like a great place. It'd be like
I don't know, because I was in LA and there's a lot of homelessness and a lot of anger. And I'm like, they get 10 months of sunshine.
Homeless is that's an addiction.
But I mean, you just felt the energy wasn't. So I think right now, collectively, it is a different. But I'll let Ange answer as to what her coping mechanisms are.
I think right now, I'm going to just say it, and I don't care because I'm thinking this, and I want to know how many other people are thinking this. I think right now, the lack of leadership in the world right now is a lot of people that got mommy and daddy issues, and they've risen to power. And then now all of those unresolved issues, they're taking it out on humanity, because that's what it feels like. It honestly just feels like, dude, like what was your childhood like that, you weren't happy? And I'm not going to say the names. I will say those two names right now, eventually, a couple names, but there are some big players out there and you're like, Jesus, like why are you like, what's happening that you're angry at the rest of the world? Like something obviously happened that now you're in a position of power and now you're just kind of going around and swinging your weight.
Havoc for the entire universe.
That is, you got some inner stuff you got to work through there, because the principle and the foundation of good leadership is at the end of the day is putting yourself last and other people first. That's a basic rule of humanity. And we've lost the essence of that. I don't know where. At one point I like to think that there was really good leadership, but this is why I want to say that when you tune into our podcast, you're tuning into learning, growing, transforming yourself, evolving, and just learning about different perspectives. And the three of us are really big about leadership and having a leadership mindset. We are going to do a segment on that later, but I want all of you to know, every single one of us, you don't need to have a fancy dancy title. You don't need to have 50 million credentials after your name or your last name. But if you're a good human being, tap into that and start doing random acts of kindness and really just start building a community. And the reason I say community is because at the end of, if you kind of break down the word community, it's common and unity, and you put them together, it's community. And that's what it is. That's what we have in common is unity. So, hey, that's what we have in common is unity. So bringing the world together, I just want everybody, every single one of us here, don't feel that, oh, I don't have any power, I can't influence. We're all in places in power to influence our community, people next to us, our neighbors, our brother, sister, our mom and dad, anybody. And if we all just start adapting that mindset of just, let's think about the other person, then the other person is going to think about the other person. The other person is going to think about the domino effect. And we got to bring that leadership back into positive power.
Like just like caring for another human being instead of always like fighting with another human being. Yeah. Like we just stop dividing each other. Everyone's different, but we're all the same at the same time.
Yeah. Everyone's always sizing everybody up all the time. And for me, for when it comes to how we cope in tough times, I do want to be honest and say, please don't use me as an example. Please use these two examples in how you cope in tough times, because I come from an era of regimented, very military. I will tell you one day, of all the tough times and all the really tough things that I dealt with, from childhood bullying to just a lot of things. Bullying. I got a laundry list. I got a laundry list of things, and I do say sometimes, and I try to like just rise above all the pettiness. And I'm built differently. I'm going to tell you that I know myself, and even these two make fun of me. And Al will say sometimes, like, "Really, you're not going to take a gummy? Really, you're not going to take a hit of that? Really, you're not going to take a drink, and you're just going to keep going?" And for me, I'm conditioned differently. I'm an old soul. I have a very military soul, and my mind is such where I didn't have options for therapy when I was younger. I didn't have any of these things or any of these resources that we have today that can really help you build yourself back up and set you up for success. I really just had myself growing up, and I had to really have that inner dialogue. And I always say, like, I'm a bit of a loner. I had to learn to fend for myself and just enjoy my own company and kind of shield myself.
Raw brute strength.
It really was raw. And so I don't use me as an example by any means, because I can tell you the average person would have broken many times over.
That's true.
And I didn't fold because I just truly believe there's a higher power that's guiding the three of us and me. Like, we've got a bigger message.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I never folded. But please, like I said, my thing is honestly, just be mindful of your inner circle. Be mindful of who you marry. Be mindful of the person that you date. Be mindful of anyone that you're going to be bringing into your family life and your personal life and your circle, because it could just take one wrong seed and right away it ruins everybody's mood. So just when, you're young and you're fresh and you're dating and you're in love, people are really good at hiding their colors and not showing you and revealing who they are. So just stay true to yourself and your conviction. Believe in what you stand for. We can't control what other people do. We can't control other people's action. We can't control the chaos in the world. We can only control our own surrounding. So my advice to you is just create a safe haven for yourself. Reach out to people when you're having a funk or when you're in a funk and you're struggling, and just say, listen, I need some help. And get out in nature, go for walks, go and exercise. And another big thing I will tell you is, I'm guilty of this. I eat crap sometimes. Like, I eat the bag of chips. I eat sour cream and onion, Doritos, and bad food is always so good for you. But as I'm getting older and now I'm in my 40s and I'm experiencing perimenopausal symptoms, that food is turning into depression and dark thoughts. It's not good. I feel like shit every day. So honestly, I'm going to be bringing some recipes to you. And even for those working moms out there, you need some help, I will get you covered with really easy, like 30-minute recipes. But that's what I've noticed, is it's also nutrition, because you are what you eat at the end of the day. So for me, how I cope in tough times is just, honestly, I isolate. Maybe not the best approach, but when you isolate, you have to listen to your thoughts and you talk out loud. And that's how you start to toughen up, because you can't control the background noise. You can only control this noise.
Wow, that was really long, Angela. I hope everyone, I'm sorry for that. I hope you guys don't tune out.
I'm just saying.
The message is what she's saying is good, and I am wholehearted with her. I also go introverted a little bit too during the darker times, but I'd make sure I'm mindful of meditating and staying align with my focus, because I think that solitude has a bad reputation. People are like, no, don't isolate. This is, don't be alone. Being alone is important. It's important that you spend time with yourself, because that's the only time you really discover who you are and what you're capable of doing, or who you are and how you want to show up in the world. So spend time alone, but don't spend too much time. There is a fine line where you become too much in your own company. But like Angie said, it is a tough time in the world right now. We're very much aware, but we don't want to harp on that. We want to be that positive outlet for you guys, that you can come to us and say, hey, what are you guys doing to get through this tough time? Because I will say that through this dystopia, there will be a utopia. We will come through this. Humanity is so resilient. We're such an amazing species that we always find a way out of it. So just don't give up on hope.
Yeah. And don't lose hope.
I would say the universe is watching. The universe will work itself out.
Mother Nature.
Yeah.
We just have to ride the wave.
And thank you to all of you that reach out to us. We read all of the DMs and you have all expressed that there's dark times, and we just figured that, you know what, this is probably, now's the time for us to table a quick episode and just do, what our perspective is on this. It is going to be a bit of a short episode. We are trying to keep them short and punchy. And that's just because at the end of the day, it's the nature of just everyone's busy and everyone's attention and listening capacity. So with that said, if you want us to talk about anything else, feel free to reach out to us. We are a community and we're all family. We're a digital family, and we love when you connect with us, comment and share and give us ideas for episodes. So we just want to say thank you for that. And we're going to be back in 2 weeks. As you know, we have decided to go to bi-weekly episodes. So that's every other Sunday. So 2 episodes a month, but we are super active on all of our social channels, Monday to Friday. You can see all of our fun reels, and we're going to be bringing more amazing content to you. So friends and family, thanks for tuning into us. Thank you for just believing in us. And really, this year 3, and we're going to do some amazing things together, and keep the faith. Don't lose the faith. Okay. And it's all about hope and positivity. So your favorite trio sibling, we're signing off. We're going to be back again. Bye. For now.
See ya.